What's up, everyone? What's up? Hold on. This is live TV, but say hello, Jason, while I see what
hello,
my
everyone.
What's up, Vivian? What? We're live. What do you want? Okay, it's okay. Too late. That's okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. What's up, Jason?
Hello.
The magic of live TV, My gosh, look at how many comments already came in. Wow. Mr. Redjag, what's up, sir? Hello. G'day to you, David. All the way from Oz, as always. Always lovely to see you, sir. Look at you with the hello, the hello. Hello to you. I got to keep that for at least a couple of seconds. There you go, Jason.
Hey, David.
Hello, Mr. Redjag. G'day, everyone.
Redjag.
Number one Marvel fan. We're still wondering who the number one DC fan is. Nobody wants to lay claim to that. But good to see you as always, my friend. Howdy to you, Mikhail. Howdy ho. Oh, look at that. Marcus. Ladwig bringing the heat wave.
Yeah, I'll push it that way.
Look at that. Sam Maroney. What's up, Sam? Sam, wanted to say thank you so much. I think I thanked you last week. I don't think you were here. Just I wanted to say thank you for subscribing. I got a little notification that showed me that you had subscribed. So thank you, sir. And thank you for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you. What else we got? Who else we got? The Rickster. What's up, Rick? Murdoch. Hey. So much for getting a night off, everyone. Hey, listen, Rick, you know me. I said it a million times. The show itself is fun as hell. It's not tiring in the least, okay? I could be here and hang out with you guys 5 hours every Sunday if I had to. It's the prep. All the damn making the scans, making the whatever, researching all the info for the scans and making the slides. That's what I hate. That's what's tiring. It just got to me. But no, the shows themselves, I love being live, chatting with everybody. You guys are, we're all friends. You guys all make it fun, and that's what's so cool about it. So no, if I could do more shows without having to make slides, I would. But unfortunately, most of the people seem to always get kind of angry when there's no art to be shown or whatever. So I guess some of them are going to be pissed off tonight because there ain't no art to be shown tonight. But I should let you guys all know, guys and gals, know that just FYI, this was very impromptu and last minute. My wonderful friend Jason agreed to come on tonight. And he's always awesome. He's always, he's told me in the past he's willing to help me out anytime I need him. So thank you, Jason. That's very awesome of you.
Sure.
But just FYI, he does have other commitments, things to do, and we're gonna keep tonight very short. Short for my channel, very short. We're gonna keep it. I promised Jason we're keeping it to 90 minutes tonight. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and so we figured whatever we'll shoot the shit about some things that Jason has on his mind about the hobby. You guys, some of you may or may not remember. Jason's been in the hobby about 4-ish years at this point. Pretty right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah. So yeah. So because of that, he's always got questions, but I love the questions he has because they really are the type of questions that more people should ask, and a lot of people wonder about but don't bother to ask, which is really a good reason for us to sort of put these things out there. So for a lot of you guys and gals, you probably will be thinking, didn't we talk about this before? We probably have. So let's just put that out there right now. We probably have. But these topics are always, at least for me, I love talking about them. I just feel like they I don't know. They don't often get tired. Maybe to some people, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hello to Mrs. the Collector. Why so serious? I don't know who you're talking about, but it ain't me. John Brown, good to see you, sir. Aloha to you, Carl. Good to see you all the way from Maui. And hey, Carl, wow, with only a 90-minute show tonight, you're going to get to be able to leave to go see the girlfriend. You'll probably be able to watch the whole show before you got to go out and see her. Look at that. You don't got to leave us. I don't think, anyways. What's up, Lee? How you doing? And JC, what's up, JC? Good to see you as always, my friend. Hello, and hello, Jason, and hello, everyone in the chat. Always the one of the kinder, the kinder crew members you are, Karen. So thank you very much. What's up to you, Jason? Another Jason. So many Jasons. What's up, CJ? Stopping in for a bit. Fam stuff. You got some fam stuff? Okay, no worries, man. As always, you never have to apologize. I appreciate any time you can give us. Thank you very much. Marcus says, I don't know, lots of hate for Marvel from their own fans. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. Maybe because of the movies? Is that what you mean? Because of the movie stuff right now? I don't know. Who's the #1 Vertigo fan? I would say it's somebody named Mike who has a website called msnart.com. But I could just be, it's just a guess. I may be wrong about that. I'm not sure. Okay, everybody's with the hellos back and forth. I can't destroy any comics today. Oh, CJ, I saw your comment. I saw your comment on Karen's video. That wasn't nice. That wasn't nice. I thought you were being kind of mean to her, if I'm being honest. I don't know. You were kind of aggressive. Let's just put it that way. I don't know about mean, but aggressive maybe. But at least you gave her your thoughts, which you're being honest, and that's what matters. What's up, Dino? Good to see you, dude. Hey, what's up, Hart? Just jumping in to say hi. You got to get back to you. Oh, you ended up going. Okay, we haven't talked in a while, so wow. Okay, I was wondering if you had gone to Maui. All right, so there you go. And you're in Maui. Are you hooking up with Carl? Are you and Carl gonna get together? Because that would be awesome if you did. But anyways, let us know. Thank you for tuning in and saying hello, by the way. Just buy them that way. Nice. Nice rack of CGC X-Men right there. And yes, look at those. Look how he displays. I've never seen anybody do that. That's awesome, Jason. CGC books on a Hey Kids Comics rack. I love that. That's really cool. It's so cool that they fit. That looks really awesome. I can't believe I've never seen that before.
It was a guy had like a crowdfunding thing. I forget which one it was on, Kickstarter or something like that, and it was custom made. I can't find him again. I went looking for it again, so I don't know if he's still in business or still doing it. But
wow,
yeah,
custom made. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow, looks
kind of a nice way to display the graded books, kind of the old-fashioned way, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really, really cool. Like I almost wish I still collected comics so that just so I could do that display. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, congratulations. So,
it even has the like the sign up at the top, and
I mean that's what makes it. Without that, no offense, Jason. Without that sign, I would never do it. I'd be like, no,
It doesn't have the one that says "Make Mine Marvel" where it had the guys' faces. That would be great if it had that.
Yeah, but still, that's really cool.
Yeah,
man.
No, thanks. Really cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, we're talking movies, poop, or comic art tonight. Comic art, no movies. I do have
some poop.
What's that, Jason?
Some poop might be discussed. No,
I was just gonna say, you never know when it comes to the poop. It could happen, right?
Right.
I did just eat a homemade protein bowl, homemade that my lovely wife was nice enough to go out and get the ingredients for me, and I had that for lunch and for supper. So you never know, and it included kale, so you never know what's going to happen later tonight. So, but no, nothing's going to happen before the show's over. So unfortunately, I won't have any stories for you, as much as I know you guys love them. So hey, Jason from the Rickster. Dan Evan, what's up, Dan? Dan's going to be my guest for a show and tell 2 weeks from now. I'm very excited, Dan, and I will be probably getting the episode up onto my channel. I'm hoping by tomorrow. So it's coming soon, my friend, coming soon. And Jason, look at you, Jason. You're here. You're in the chat. You're doing double duty. Love that.
Trying to engage.
So that's like me. Started in 2018. Oh, bootlegging. You're also new. You mean new to the art, but long time comic guy, right? I think that's what you mean, bootlegging. Let me know. What's up, Caesar? What's up, everyone? Look at that. Hey, Caesar. Too bad that you're not on Instagram, or are you? I don't think you are, because if you're on Instagram, you need to go check out my Instagram, man. I put some wicked pictures of, back when I was in the East Los, the Montreal chapter of the East Los Vatos Locos Forever gang. So you might want to check those out. I think you'd appreciate them. These days it might be racist though, so maybe you don't want to check them out. I'm not really sure, actually, come to think of it. So, but they're out there for you to see if you want to check it out. So 4 regular years, CJ says 20 collector accumulation years. Who are you talking about? Because that's not you, because obviously you're a long time guy. But new episode of Collector's Call tonight. What's that? Had an original art collector on. Anyone watch and know the guy? I don't even know what Collector's Call. I'm sorry, you'll have to expand on that. I don't know what that is. Let us know. The NFT crisis is over. I don't know. Trump seems to be wheeling and dealing them. Last I heard, I don't know. Some people are buying those. Welcome to Maui. If he's saying welcome to Maui, Heart, that means you guys didn't hook up. That's kind of disappointing. You're both in the same place in Hawaii and you didn't bother to hook up. Okay. Hey, Ron, good to see you, man. And Ruben, I suppose you don't want to talk about the soccer. I do not want to talk about the soccer, David, or as you call it, football. The crying laughing emoji is enough for me, so let's just leave it there. CGC books prevent spine cracks on the spinner rack. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, and you better be laughing about what I said about Hart screwing you over a few minutes ago. Are we talking recreations, restoration, and coloring black and white art? Not necessarily. That's not what we're talking about. Good day. Hi, all. Hey, Paulie Pete. Wow, it's not a sales show, Paul. There's nothing being sold tonight. Why are you here? Wow, that's weird, Paul. Wow. Well, I hope you're feeling better. I know Paul's been sick not long ago, but I hope you're feeling a lot better, my friend. And it's so weird, Jason, to see you you're here, and then I see you in the chat as well. Took it wrong. I said anyone can do what they want. Okay. Yeah, you're referring to the comment you left Karen. I'll have to reread it, and then I'll judge you after that. Okay. Let me reread it. I don't, you're a wonderful man, so I don't want to misjudge you. So I appreciate you clarifying that. I'll check it out later. I hear you hit the button and say, hey, Chad. Hey, Neil. What's up, man? That is a mighty fine rack. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, you. Okay. Oh, sorry. Pride in the collection and X-Men to boot indicates excellent taste, says Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, what's up, Derek? Pretty sure their site went down. Whose site? I heard that Comic Link's site had been going down a lot. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about. But another guy using the same joke. This TJ must be talking about me though, for sure. All right, thank you, TJ. But they were cool while they were around. Okay, so somebody went down permanently and they're not around anymore. So, is that the website that number one Marvel fan was talking about? The show that he was talking about? I don't know. I'm lost. No Maui meetups for me. Just enjoying the okay, later. All right, later, man. Later. Have a good time. Does he make them original art portfolios? Yeah, exactly. Does he make those for original art portfolios?
That would be cool.
Kind of big. Now would we be getting really
big? Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You always get the straight poop from me. You know that, man. Ruben the Metamucil man. I don't think I've ever used that in my life, but thank you. Good Lord, we've gone full nutrition. We have in the past, not so much tonight though, Dan. It will be fun for everyone. A couple of weeks, yes, it will for sure. I want to turn green with envy when the kale kicks in. you know it, baby. So started collecting art in 2018. Okay, so very, very much the same time as you, Jason.
Yeah.
Cool. Carlito, what's up? What's up, brother? Oh my God, Carlito, there's not going to be any art tonight. I wish you would hang out every now and then and just get accustomed to having good conversation. and not just live off of the desire to look at art. But I always appreciate you dropping in, my friend. Thank you. Too boring to meet up with. One would have a better time watching paint dry. Ah, you're so bad. If I ever get to Maui, we're definitely hooking up for sure. Talking about Jason has accelerated his collector. You mean his collecting? Talking about Jason's collecting?
If you mean comics, I've been doing that since 1984. But art has been since just about 3.5 years.
Nice, man. Collector's Call. Okay, TV show on. Oh, it's an actual TV show. Has a Facebook site. Shows the guy and some art as well. Okay, Collector's Call. Okay, I'll have to try to look into that. So you can see if I can find that. It's a TV show. The guy had a Joe Sinnott FF page. Okay, thank you, Mr. Edjek. You know me, Polly. I call him as I see him. He said he had 100 pieces. Wish they showed more of his collection. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll try to see if I can find it. For the custom spinner racks. Okay. Thanks, Derek. Derek may want to get with the optometrist. Ooh, them's fighting words. James Siegel. What's up, James? Good evening. The Oklahoma kid himself, everyone. Lovely to see you as always, man. Momentarily to say hi and to register a like. Oh, and to say hi, Jason, of course.
Hi, Kev.
Wonderful man, that cab he is. Look at that. And thank you. Look at you. Look at you almost forgetting me, right? Thank you so much. Thank you. And okay, excellent. So hi, hello, and the last hellos. All right. So everybody, as I was saying, late last night, I reached out to Jason, and those of you who've been around for the last year regularly, you guys know that I've already done 2 shows with Jason. And the first one was actually a Hangout episode back when it was called One-on-One, rebranded to Hangout. But then because it had so much to do with Jason having a lot of questions about the hobby and such, I later rebranded it as the first episode of Comic Art 101, because I figured it was very helpful stuff for newer collectors especially, and also informative for some veteran collectors as well. And so we did that first episode together. And then only some of you may remember, because there wasn't a big crowd that Sunday, Jason came back to have some fun with us on the Super Bowl weekends, where we did that episode that finished like half an hour before the Super Bowl started. But that was also, it really pains me, Jason, I have to say. It pains me that because of being the Super Bowl, that it didn't get a lot of likes on Rewind, because again, we talked about a lot of stuff and it's all interesting stuff,
Sure.
So our first episode got, decent likes, but that second one, the Super Bowl weekend, I wish people would watch it more, because it's helpful. Like,
You're going to have to get a better halftime show. You'll have to get a bigger act for the halftime show.
You're all the act I need, Jason.
And if you do a 5-hour marathon, then you'll definitely have to have a halftime show.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Is Collector's Call still hosted by the actress? Oh, is that the show you're talking about? Lisa Welchel was hosting for a while. Maybe that's what it is. They're referring to the avatar. To Derek's avatar. Okay, yes, Lisa Welchel. Oh, there you go. Marcus always confirming the facts. Thank you. Switching you guys to a large screen TV. Smile.
Hey, Carl.
And there we go, Lisa Welchel. Yeah. So, anyways, like I was saying, so that was even that Super Bowl episode. Who knows? Maybe I should just rebrand that Super Bowl episode as kind of as another episode in the Comic Art 101 series, just because we kind of talked about, every time we're with you, Jason, we
Sure.
talk about things that are informative,
Yeah.
and helpful that way to the hobby. So I might have to consider rebranding that and then putting it into that playlist of the Comic Art 101. But anyways, everyone, so that's what we were going to talk a bit about tonight for the next hour and 9 minutes that we have remaining. Like I said, don't feel bad, or if you need to leave for whatever reason, if you think that you've heard it all before and you don't want to talk about it again, I won't hold it against you. I always appreciate any time you can spare us. So thank you. So with that, Jason, what do we have first on the docket? What's the first point that you would? Oh, I'm so sorry. Before we get to it, I'm sorry. Do you mind?
Go for it.
Because I forgot. If I don't do this now, I just remembered. Sorry, everyone. I forgot that at the top of the show, I should have done this because I don't want to forget these guys. Just wanted to shout out my newest subs, X-Men Mike, Vince DeRose, Take the Time, Collectibles, and Chaos and Comics. Thank you guys very, very much. You guys who have, well, you're the only ones whose names I could see who subscribed over the last week and a half or so. So thank you very much for that. And also really quickly, let me jump back into the chat and let me do this. Everybody, I wanted to also mention that Karen from Karen's Pages, or is that of Karen's Pages? Apparently I'm not an English major. She dropped finally, for those of you who are wondering, she finally dropped another video. And judging by the amount of views it has gotten so far, I must say it was as I was kind of expecting and telling her that her audience was going to be so hungry after sort of making them wait so long for another video that I think everybody's like, swallowing it up and hailing it whole. And it's really, really interesting. I'm putting the link directly to that episode into the chat right now for those of you who are not subscribed, and shame on you if you're not. But really interesting video because she touches upon a collectible that's not comics, it's not art, but it's related. It's like a cross between both. And it's a collectible that is very controversial and which I often thought, who the hell would buy that shit? But I must say, after watching her video, and I'm not just blowing smoke up her ass. After watching that video, I have to say, now, while I wouldn't necessarily collect those things, and I'm not saying what it is because I want you guys to look, I would probably buy something like that as a keepsake, like a memento that I could display. Because if you don't display it, to me, it's worthless. To buy something like that to shove into a CGC box or whatever, long box, short box, whatever, to me, that's useless. But if you're going to display it, it's pretty cool. So go watch it, everybody. There you go. Okay, thank you for the sorry for the interruption, Jason.
Not at all.
The rest of you, thanks so much for allowing me to do that. I know you do, Karen. I know you buy that shit. No, I used to think it like who would buy that shit, but when I saw like encapsulated and everything, I was like, it's kind of cool. So there you go. So that's it. I'm kind of changing my mind about it. So there you go. I would not have done what you did 30 years ago, but would have done it today as you did. Are you talking about Karen buying a cutout page from a comic? I think you must be. Okay, but anyway, sorry, Jason. What are we going to talk about tonight for the first topic?
Sure. So, and I think we've dabbled around this before, but as a new collector, I still struggle with this sometimes. But for someone jumping into the hobby or still new to the hobby, do you think it, and with prices going up on vintage pieces, is it money better spent if you stick to newer artists, newer pages, and focus on that because they tend to be a little bit more affordable, although there's certainly artists today that are expensive? Or is it better, you think, especially if down the road you hope to, I guess, make it an investment, or are you better off holding out for those more vintage pieces that you might be able to afford or save up to afford? Where do you think, as a collector slash, and not that I do this just for an investment, I don't do that. I'm a black.
I get it, but you're like everybody else.
Yeah,
you're still obviously knowing that there's still an end game to all of this,
right?
And yeah, you eventually there's an exit strategy you'd like to have, kind of thing. So
right.
I get it. Yeah,
right.
So let me take a comment because we already have a comment answering. So Marcus is saying, depends if your intent is for resale. So in your case, I would gather to say that technically you can say your intent is resale, but not really, only in respect to the end game one day.
One day.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, I'm buying this because, oh, it's an investment and 2 or 3 years from now I want to cash in and try to make a profit, right? It's not that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not short sale kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Comic Art Boston always, the man of wisdom that he is, of course, always saying the same thing, just buy what you love. And to counter his comment, I have to say, Marcus is making a good point, but funds are limited. So, you know, you're I can see how you may be attracted to vintage art, and you may also be attracted to contemporary art as well, right?
Yep.
And so it's kind of, but you know, nobody has all the money to afford everything we want. So
right.
He's right. He's right. When funds are limited, so then what do you do?
Yeah, because my love, I grew up, I'm a kid of the 80s, so my love would be books of that era or a little bit older because I was buying the back issues. And that's what I really remember and have nostalgia for. But those are going to be pricier things that are going to have to be saved up, negotiated with the wife and those kind of things. Versus books today that are still being drawn, you know, and I love some modern artists, but I'm not sure that the stories have the same staying power that some of the older stuff did. And so will somebody know who certain modern artists are down the road, you know, in 20 years?
Okay, to that point, let me just quickly remind you, in 20 years, because you said it, right?
Yeah.
In 20 years, those artists are no longer the newer artists. They'll already be veterans of 25 years or 30 years by that point, and I would think more well-known, right?
Yeah, but like if you're talking a Jack Kirby, a Joe Sinnott, those kind of folks, they're part of the original echelon. So if you're talking, if you know your history of comics and if you know who the, I guess, founding fathers are, kind of type of people, there's going to be some sort of, I guess, attraction to those folks versus I like Ryan Stegman. He's a newer artist and I think he's a great artist. But will the kids today be reading that and have nostalgia for his art? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think you're making a good point. He'll be older and there'll be more people that have been exposed to him. And so, yeah, he should have that same sort of weight maybe, but I just don't know. I'm just.
Sam is saying current artists will produce more in the future. I think, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, I think your point that you're trying to make is go with the old if you have to choose because of the fact that the current working artists still produce more art, and therefore you will always have more supply down the road if you don't buy what they're doing today. I think that's what you're trying to say. But like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. So for Sam, we're gonna go with he thinks stick to older vintagey stuff. Cab says interesting, and this is coming from a guy who started and is most partial to Silver Age. Let me tell you, he's saying I would buy modern. However, if vintage hits your nostalgic spot, buy modern and save funds for a huge vintage piece if possible. That's kind of an interesting way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
TJ says, I always look to buy from a title or character that I have interest in. Excuse me. Yes, a lot of people kind of follow that. But I'm always looking for the best deal I can get too. Sure. But TJ, the question still is coming from Jason. If you had interest in both vintage and contemporary, which one would you go after? Regardless of whether, yes, you'd still follow by title or character that you're interested in, but you'd still have to make a choice if you're interested in modern and vintage, right? So which one would you go? And again, everybody, keeping in mind what Jason said, for him, it is important, keeping in mind that factor of the end game. At the end, he does expect to have an exit strategy financially. So he wants to get out of it eventually, you know, whenever that is, maybe when he's retired or whatever, right? So keep that in mind when you're putting out your opinions and answers, because that's kind of more what he's, you know, it's not the same question if you don't really take that into consideration. And so that's why I want to point that out. You have to be realistic from a financial perspective, of course. Sam says vintage artists are a finite amount. Okay, so I was right. So Sam is, you know, we get the point. Yeah, he's going for, he's thinking about the older stuff. By character art then. Not sure what that's about. Character art. I don't
You
know.
mean, does he mean pick a favorite character and stick with that regardless of whether it's vintage or modern?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he was referring to TJ's comment.
Oh.
But okay, he'll probably clarify. So it's a question of personal balance. That true. It's always true, of course. And the Rickster says that he feels diversity is good for a collection. You know what, Jason? I'm with Rick. In the example that you're giving, because you're a guy who, you know, you've been around in comics since, you know, let's call it the early 80s, if we will, right? So you've been in the hobby for decades, you know, let's call it almost 40 years, right? So if you look at it that way, I'm pretty sure you have a certain interest in probably every decade's worth of comics from the 60s onward to present. Is that a fair statement? Or
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So in your case, given that that's the case, I would say that's a pretty great answer. I would say,
yeah, that's a good point,
right? Because I feel like okay, part of me wants to say, well, go for the old stuff, like Sam says, go for the old stuff, you know, because, you know, the old adage of, well, it's the blue chip, it's the tried and true, it's been around forever since the beginning, all that stuff, right? It started the Marvel universe or the DC universe or whatever, you know. So I get that, but I don't want to say that only because when you start thinking of it that way, then I feel like you're answering it in terms of just the investment potential aspect of it all, you know. And I think somebody, even though we most of us care, of course, about the value, you know, and sort of having an exit strategy eventually, I still do think that, you know, we love what we love and we don't really want to just invest, right?
Right.
So that's why I think Rick's answer is great. So I think I'd be with him. I'd side more for maybe getting some of both, you know?
Because if I'm looking at a website or looking at an auction or whatever, then I'm kind of still like a squirrel. If it's cool, if it's pretty, it catches my attention. But then I start second guessing myself, saying, geez, should I be putting this in a war chest instead of buying the modern piece, or instead of buying the whatever it is that isn't my ideal or my fantasy piece that I want to try to have, or my fantasy example that I want to have.
Right.
So I totally get Rick's point to diversity, and I think that is probably a good strategy. And if I think that's kind of what my collection looks like so far. You know, I see little bits, and okay, I can afford that, or oh, that's an artist that I would love to have an example of, and I can grab that one. And I think I'm kind of doing that, but there's times where I just question if I'm being a smart art collector.
You see, but here, you know, I call them as I see them, Jason.
So, yep, absolutely.
Right. So that, and I don't want to make you feel bad or anything, and I don't want anybody to jump on Jason or whatever, but like that comment to me makes me feel like, and maybe you don't even know this, okay? Maybe it's not true. Maybe my assumption I'm about to make, it's not, maybe it's incorrect. Maybe it's not, I don't know, right? It may be correct and you don't even know it. I don't know. But that comment, that last comment makes me think that perhaps it's possible that the investment potential of collecting has a higher, like if we were to put them on a scale of, the scales of justice, if you will, right? Balance. Perhaps the investment aspect of it is a little bit more stronger or of interest to you than you care to admit or care or realize. You
Yeah, I
know?
think if it's there, it's probably on a less conscious level. I mean,
Okay.
you can't ignore the price of things that you're buying sometimes, and so you know that, gee, if I'm going to spend this, I hope that someday down the road, if I'm gone, my wife reaps some benefit from it. Or, like you said, if I'm going to retire and I decide that this is part of, a plan, then great, there will be something. But I'm not thinking of that consciously at the time of the purchase. At least I don't think I am. But yeah, I guess I just, like I said, if I knew that there's a piece in an auction that, gee, I wish I could have that. Am I better off having spent the past year just putting money aside in a war chest to buy ideal pieces, or am I better off just buying, I guess, to use Cab's words, buy what you love? And I think that's what I do right now. But
Okay.
then I just kind of, sometimes I'm looking at the art and I like it, but gee, that was $500. Should I have put that $500 in a savings account, if you will, for art?
Okay. You mean like what Mr. Redjack said, a war chest?
Yeah, a war chest. And
A war chest, but I'm assuming the war chest that you build up to eventually get some good stuff from the old, more vintagey stuff. Is that what you
you're
mean?
right, right.
Right. Yeah.
Because every time I try to start a war chest, I'll find a piece
And you'll
someplace
have to use that
and it's
money
gone.
for it. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
At this rate, I'm about 6 months ahead on my war chest as far as purchases I've made. So
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's hard to not dip into it because it's easily accessible, So yeah, I get it.
right,
Marcus is saying it's a level of quality you can get, new or old. I guess
sure.
that is a great answer for your question, which also handles the financial sort of / investment aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's right. Because if you are thinking a lot more on the investment side of things, plus something that you want to buy to own for a long time, he's right. Because if you want to get the most of both worlds, like let's say you really are attracted to the new stuff, but the investment value is important to you, then I would say that he's correct in the sense that, okay, maybe go for that new stuff, but maybe save up. Again, it's the war chest comes into play still though, but try to go more for the biggest and brightest names that will stand the test of time. Because like, for example, like I look at Jim Lee and the guy's been around like almost 40 years, right? But I don't know how to explain it, but for me, he's still a contemporary artist. Like
Right.
I just feel like the guys that started their careers in the 70s and earlier, those were the people that I always and even today still feel are the vintage guys.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it has something to do with the context of me having started like you in the 80s collecting and reading comics. It might be related to that, but I feel like, yeah, because I was there in the 80s, those guys seem new to me. So everybody from the 80s onwards. So yeah, obviously he's 40 years. He's definitely a long time vet, but you don't want to say, oh, vintage artists, Jim Lee. Well, no, I don't think most people would think of it that way, right? So
yeah, good point.
But I think that's what Marcus is getting at. So you can go for the big names, but at the same time, you can also make the argument. I could certainly make the argument. I don't know if I'm right or not, but you could make the argument and have a discussion as to whether a lot of those big names, the biggest of the big names, Jim Lee, Arthur Adams, whoever, they may be overpriced.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff is so like, oh my God, it's you can get a lot of fantastic vintage art for the price that they charge for, pieces from the last 20 years or whatever, you know what I mean? So, so there's a give and take. Yeah. It's just, it all comes down to like, I guess to what Cab was saying, right? The whole aspect of buy what you love. And in the end, I guess, and yeah, I don't know if buy what you love will serve you the best financially speaking. Probably not. Probably the best way to serve yourself financially speaking is to be a little bit more conscious and make conscious decisions based on the future potential value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I can say. What does Dan say? So try breaking your art collection in comics, your art collecting in comics into eras. So example, prior to 75, mid 70s to 90s, 90s to 2010, initial digital age, 2010 onward, and then the digital has changed a lot of the art. Yeah, that's a good point. So John sticks with the vintage stuff, and I'll let my heirs figure out the exit strategy. That's nice, John. I mean, yeah, you're buying what you like. If that's what you like, but that's it. Because in your case, it doesn't really matter because, like you say, you're willing to die with the collection. So, yeah,
Right.
I personally don't want to. I want to cash out before because I just want to leave my family the money so they don't have to trouble themselves, you know. But yeah, buy by character rather than artist. And I gotta say, I've always said, and I've said this many times, even on several of my shows, that I think a large proportion of collectors already do that, Marcus. I think a lot of people who say they're artist collectors, I believe that they don't even realize that there's still more character collectors more. Because it's like, I want to get a page from this title or with this character from this guy. I really want to get an example by this guy or this artist, you know? But if you look at their collections, most of the time it's, yeah, of featuring characters that they really like. So I believe it's character first for most people. Again, we can argue that, you know? But he's right, though, Jason. Modern or not, I think history has shown us, we have precedents, right, to look back at. It has shown us that whether it's modern, contemporary, old, whatever you want to call it, even if you don't go by artist and you get quality content, if you focused on just the character and the absolute coolest quality content pages, I honestly believe you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, even if they're not like the big name artists.
Right.
Precedence has shown that all the way across the board at all decades of comics, the art has gone up tremendously, whether it's for top name artists or even much maligned artists, which I'm not going to, we don't want to, you know, talk bad about anybody in particular. Right. But yeah, a lot of stuff has gone up regardless, right?
Yeah.
So number one Marvel fan says that you should buy a lot of Mannix art and Embeck, and you'll be okay. If you want to have fun, I agree. If you want to invest, I disagree. But that's, you know, that's just one man's opinion. Jason, if the prices of vintage which you really want are clearly on an upward trajectory, then I would prioritize saving for that piece first. Another way to put it.
That's my hope right now, but I'm doing a terrible job, Cab. I've sabotaged my war chest a couple of times here lately.
Yeah. So TJ says that in my case, I have a love for the Bronze Age Huntress and art featuring her, but the modern version of the character doesn't ring my bell really, so I end up getting commissions from the modern guys. Okay.
Yeah. It's a good way to state the character. Yeah.
Yeah, you're finding a compromise, right, TJ? I mean, that's what you're doing. Otherwise, says Cab, there is the danger that you would never get it. Well, of course, because it's you know, most of that old stuff is already out of range for everybody anyway. So it's kind of like, if you keep waiting, it's just going to get even further out of range. I think that's what he's trying to say, right? Carlito, yes, sir. You're still in the house. I love it. I wouldn't bank on the next generation holding up this hobby. I will. I'm banking on it. I focus on iconic material, iconic imagery, or well-known books. So says Carlito. And Cab answers him saying, that's a perennial question to which there is no clear answer. I love that. I love these guys going at each other, man. Yes, because that's honesty, right? And that's what we need.
Yeah.
honest opinions, your honest feelings all the time. No bullshitting here. Okay. The truth shall set you free. It's just if it's just for investment, don't buy talking used. Like talking heads, I guess. Talking head pages. Yeah. That's what he's saying. Well, no, obviously. Yeah, if it doesn't have the main characters in costume and stuff, and investment, future value is important, then I mean that's kind of pretty obvious, I would think, right? To not go to the talking head pages, obviously. Murdoch is asking us, what are all of our thoughts on trade bait pieces? I mean, I don't know, any opinion on that? And just to clarify, trade bait, everybody, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't have a different definition than I do, but trade bait typically is just pieces that you buy to put aside in hopes that, they're the kind of pieces you buy that you think other people will like and want, right? In demand type pieces, but only in hopes that when somebody has a piece you really want, you can then maybe offer them these pieces, these that you bought just specifically to hopefully trade for. Any comment or opinions on that, Jason?
I mean, for me, I think if there was and again, so far I'm pretty much a black hole collector. So once it's in my collection right now, I don't have intention to sell it. I like it enough that I really wanted it. So if I saw somebody say, this page is up for sale now in my collection, or even if I just saw it in someone's collection and it said not for sale, but I try to approach them and say, would you consider it? I don't really have pages that I want to let go. Now, if that person looks at my gallery on CAF and says, you have a page that maybe we could work a deal out, I guess I'd have to decide how important is the page that I'm trying to go after before I would consider that.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go, Murdoch. Just a hard question to answer, but you buy what you love, right? That's the cab answer. And my answer usually, like the Amazing Stories episode with Mark Hamill, and you will never lose. Okay. You don't already have a war chest? I guess that's to you, Jason.
I have a war. Well, I keep saying
he spends it.
Yeah. I have a war chest.
He builds it and then he spends it before the war has begun.
Yeah, I'm 10 wars ahead of myself right now. There's no lock on the chest. And it's being eaten by termites.
Yeah. Murdoch, it's a good point you make. I mean, does it even have to be vintage? Peach Momoko pieces go for thousands of dollars. But that's kind of, it falls into the category of sort of the question that Jason was asking, because of the fact that, well, some modern art, contemporary art, sells for like the same or more as some older art, vintagey art. And so that's what he's kind of asking. So when he sees that, he feels like, well, it kind of seems like it's overpriced because you can get the old stuff for the same amount of money. And so that's a good point to what Jason is saying. It's like, is a Peach Momoko, it's super popular now. She's got a lot of followers, got a lot of congoers racing down the aisles to get first in line to get her sketches and whatnot. But the question is stuff like hers, is it going to hold its value 20 years down the road? That's the question. And for me, the answer is, who the hell knows? I've got no idea on that. That's a tough one. I make sure my girlfriend is behind me at the con. Nothing against Peach, but I'd put that money into older and more nostalgic pieces. There you go. That's an opinion. You're definitely welcome to it. And that's a lot of people's opinion, Fred, for sure. By the way, thanks for dropping in tonight, Fred. I appreciate it, man. Murdoch, and I can completely understand that to Chamberlain, to Fred, but for me, she has produced at least one magic piece that I would have loved to have had, and that was 10 grand when it sold. Wow. Yeah. No, I get it. So yeah, to each their own. That's why when you're getting to that price level, wow, modern vintage, that's tough. For me, it would be like, I'd be like, probably lean more towards vintage, but just that's me, Fred, right? Yeah, 5K for a cover from her could buy lots of nice Bronze Age pieces. Oh, there you go. Another way to look at it. So vintage means retired or dead artist. I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody has their own definition of vintage, right? Because I guess it comes down to, because it really does matter, like how old you are. You know what I mean? It's like you think about the context, right, Jason? Like when we were kids in the 80s, right? And you think about it, like 1986, 86 hit, 86 or 87, whatever it was, 86. And then it was like, wow, Marvel's 25th anniversary.
Right.
And didn't you remember thinking like, wow, they've been around a long time.
So old. So old.
So old because we were less than 25 years old, right?
Right. Right.
So it's all context. So of course to us, wow, that's vintage. But now we're like in our late 40s, early 50s, and suddenly you go back 25 years and you're only a couple of years removed from reaching the year 2000. And it's like, what? That's it? You know, that doesn't go back far at all, right? And it's like, wow.
I think for me, since there's a lot of guys in the chat and we're similar ages, we're not that far apart. But I think what makes it vintage to me is I was so damn late getting into this hobby, which was probably good for many reasons, but so late getting into the hobby that vintage means all the artists that I wish I would have bought while they were still alive and while I could have met them at a con and that kind of thing, and just never even thought to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, it's not a perfect world. It's an imperfect world.
That's right.
We are not perfect people.
That's right. Something happened for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Abraham, lovely to see you, my friend. Thank you for dropping in. So if the aim is to sell in the future, yes, diversity, that's a nice thing, like what Rick had initially said, is best. Vintage, more well-known artists and characters, modern by the popular artists, storylines, and first appearances. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good advice. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, a lot of sense to me. Abraham, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Vintage NFTs are a sure thing. Put all your money into it, Mike. Put every last dollar. They're waiting for you. I might come out if you tell me you're gonna buy them, I'll come out with some NFTs. How's that? Just for you. Limited. One of one, just for me, just for Mike. Yes, lots of them are Wolverine and X-Men. Hey, Wolverine and X-Men are kind of like, you talk about characters, surefire hits, right? Like you can never really go wrong regardless of who the artist is. That's the honest truth. Whoever you think is the worst all-time X-Men or Wolverine artist, that stuff is gone up in price, and it always will, you know? So what's up, West? Cashing out is a mistake. You have to pay taxes on that. If you will the art, they can sell the art tax-free. That's really weird. Of course, this is American. I know you're talking about American, and Jason is American, so this applies to him, I suppose. Unless it goes up in value after you die. Yeah, but it's constantly going up in value. That's the thing, West. See, that's why that whole, you know, willing it to somebody, it's tricky. It's not as easy as it sounds. It really isn't. Spidey is evergreen. Yeah, Spidey, Wolvie, X-Men, Batman. Yeah, for sure, man. Easy to cash out. Sale at a con, cash only. Oh, you know what, though? Number one Marvel fan, let me tell you something. You know all those dealers you see at the conventions that are like taking cash, right? Oh, yeah. And or sometimes, you know, even if they take credit cards and they're like, yeah, is it cash when you make an offer to them? Oh, is it cash? Like, they are obviously hiding the cash. They're not declaring the cash, right? It's not a joke. You know, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. We're not stupid. All of us know what they're doing with the cash. Here's the problem. When you're selling thousands and then 10,000s and then hundreds of thousands of dollars of art or comics at a convention, collectible, any collectible, right? And you're hiding it. What are you going to do with that money now that you can't declare it? What are you going to do with it? You've got a bit of a problem on your hands, because if you try to buy small stuff That's fine. But you're always going to have that hidden stash of cash. It doesn't go away because you're not spending it fast enough on small stuff. But if you want to buy, or if you want to buy big stuff with it, yeah, good luck trying to convince somebody to take 50 G's in cash when you're doing a deal online, like or 100K or whatever the number is, So a lot of problems posed by, the saving cash by not declaring with the government, whatever. I wouldn't mess with the IRS, that's for sure. Canadian version or the actual IRS. So
I'm not implying anything, but Murdoch's got some strategy that says he's done this before.
I'm not gonna.
I didn't say anything. Didn't say that.
Yeah. Impulse buying. Don't we all do it? Most of us do it. Most of us don't have the strength of character, of inner character to say nope. Sometimes I can hold back, but throughout your entire collecting career, I don't think I know anybody who always held off and only got pieces they wanted. Actually, I don't know. Marcus, let us know, because Marcus is the kind of guy who I always see as the type of collector who he waits. Like, you don't see him posting random shit, right? Marcus is always he posts stuff occasionally, but when he posts, it's stuff that he loves. So Marcus, tell us if you've ever purchased anything on impulse, ever, even once. I want to know. Love at First Sight by the Katie Keene. Look, you got into something you really love, Carl. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep collecting that. That's all I can say to you, for sure. Like, first appearances, whether real, perceived, or applied. Yeah. You only pay tax on profit you make. Sale, okay, only on the profit. Yeah, I don't want to get into that because I don't know exactly what the rules are for that. But Jason, how have you sabotaged the war chest? By spending it before it grows.
Yeah. Usually there'll be something comes up. There'll be a comic I want, or there's a piece of art that drops somewhere and I see it and I tell my wife, I have it saved up, so I'm not really dipping into new funds. And so there goes the war chest.
Yeah.
Or at least it gets dented.
There you go. So that means he's banking on iconic images for the next generation to see. Yeah, I'm really behind, man. I got to catch up. Okay, so what the world needs now is love, real love. One possible approach is to do time payments. Yeah, I've never. I don't disagree. I personally hate owing people. I don't like that feeling of owing someone, so I don't like them. I don't think I've ever even purchased anything on a time payment, to be honest. But yes, if you're disciplined, it can definitely work very well. Yeah, exactly. But not for everybody and not in all circumstances. In the past, yeah. Look, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I only buy trade bait pieces. Oh God, I'm really behind. If the price on the piece is too good to pass up. Okay, that was dealers who did great time payments, right? I don't like time payments, with a single exception. If I can't afford it, I won't buy it. Yeah, Fred, you're like me. Fred, for me, it shouldn't be a long time. It enabled me to purchase really great pieces. Yeah, so like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not for everybody. So I'm talking about video games. We have trade bait. Okay, well, let's go get past beyond the trade bait. So then there's quality over quantity.
This is like a summary.
Yeah, characters are key. Cost essential. Never overpay. Buy what you love. More expensive quality pieces always get better than several lesser pieces. Not always. Get in early with artists. But yeah, good points, Dan.
Yeah.
Cab, I hear you. Okay. If you buy a piece for $5K and it's okay, we're gonna go with the whole tax thing. Okay, sorry guys, I don't want to do the tax thing. But it should be rare. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to skip the one. I should read before I click. Jumping and ask everyone to hit that thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Please hit the thumbs up. I really would love that. And since I'm with you and we're down to our last 29 minutes. Yes, everybody, let me just take a minute to go into my here. Let me do this. Nikki B. So Nikki B has his show, The Original Art Experience, every Friday evening for the East Coasters at 7 p.m. Friday afternoons on the West Coast at 4 p.m. A combination talk slash art sales show. So please do check that out. And I don't know what happened, but I don't have the thumbnail for you this week. But more important than the thumbnail, Nikki B, for those of you who are not aware, oh, you're very welcome, Nick. For those of you who are not aware, here, this is even better. This is a direct link to Nick's next episode. So that doesn't go to the generic homepage. That's the actual link to this coming Friday's show. This Friday, he's going to have art by an artist that he's never heard of before. Interesting. I wonder if I've heard of him before or her. So very cool. So everybody tune into that, please. That should be fun. Okay. So there we go with that. All right. Let me, jump back in and rewind. Okay. Because I'm behind. I'm going to try to catch up fast. And I really apologize, everyone, if I do skip a comment of yours. I really do apologize. Somebody's giving their ages. Somebody's suddenly giving their ages. So
when we were talking about us being of a similar age, I think people started shooting in how old they were.
Oh, okay. So Carl, you're 56. Cool. Not far off from me. And same age as me, #1 Marvel fan. Cool. Freddie, only 3 more than me. That's cool. And Nick says, someone really wants to buy one of my complete Ramita Jr. issues since it's new, now vintage. And with the prices that the late 90s going for, so much sell it, baby, sell it. To me, that's not vintage, but it means something different to many collectors. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you little youngin' yet. Oh, you little baby, you. One of the youngest members of this chat room, everyone, speaking right here. Oh gosh, how I wish I was still your age. Started reading comics when Star Wars hit theaters. Wow. Yeah, you were like a 7-year-old basically. I had comics that year. Somehow, I guess somebody gave us a pile of comics, but they didn't really. I looked at the pictures that I didn't want to read them. They didn't grab me yet, so I didn't get bitten until 5 years after that. Yeah, Jason's soon to be the big 50, baby.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That big number is coming soon. Hookers and Coke. You want to spend the money on hookers and Coke? Because I don't know what the prices they charge are these days, but I know it was never cheap.
That's a quality over quantity question.
Better to pay the taxes and yes, and invest in the stock market. Yeah, that's what I say. I don't want to go into it, but yes. Fred says hookers, Coke, and more art. Nice. Wow. Never been the hooker type myself personally. Although I will say, so this one time, if you
oh God.
Well, come on.
This is gonna be like the poop story.
No. It's just a really quick anecdote. It's just an anecdote. I remember in the 90s, right? I was walking downtown, the main street down in our downtown here in Montreal. I was walking with a friend, right? And so just walking on the street, and all of a sudden, like it was kind of busy, the sidewalk, direct traffic in both directions. And this like black crack hoe, like missing teeth, like the whole bit. Like she looks like she's 79, but she might have probably only been 29, and I would have been shocked, If anybody who's seen before and after pictures of like meth addicts,
yeah, right,
hardcore meth addicts, I swear to God, it looks like you could be in your late 20s and you look like you're 90. Like it's crazy. Anyways, so suddenly I'm like, when you're walking straight and you go this way and the other person goes the same way and you're like, right? And you're both going the same way, right? So the crack hoe is doing that with me, and I'm and she's like, and she goes, hey man, you give me $2? You give me $2? I'm like, $2? I'm like, no, I I don't got money. I don't got that much money on me. And she goes, okay, what about $1? Just give me $1. I'm like, $1? I don't have $1. And she goes, man, I'll sack your dick for $1.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wait a second. Remember, missing teeth, crack hole, like she's 90 years old, right? And I'm thinking, $1? I gotta give you $1 for me to whip it out here
On the street.
on the street and put it in that mouth, that nasty ass mouth. Like, there's not enough gold in Fort Knox that you could give me, right, to do that. And yet you want me to give you the $1. Like, I was like, what? Oh my God. Yeah. So that was just one of those crazy things. I'm sure people have had these run-ins with these, some of the homeless meth addicts and whatever, but like, yeah. But that's about the closest I've come to maybe a hooker or whatever. But no, I've not been a hooker kind of guy. Anyways, I thought that was just like a cute little anecdote I could tell. That doesn't involve shit, So I figured, there we go. Okay, so let me catch up here so we can move on to another topic. Make more money. Okay, you're still talking about the whole tax thing. I'm gonna skip all that stuff. Okay, taxes. Okay, and I buy. Okay, so Marcus says I buy fun stuff because I already got my grails. Nice. Transformers #1, baby, in the house. Yes, Marcus is cool and calculated. I buy on impulse for fun. Even I look like a sucker. Even if I look like a sucker, you feel you look like a sucker when you buy an impulse. Shit. Does that mean I've been a sucker all these years? Like, because I bought a lot of stuff on impulse, man. Like, wow. Marcus has stuff that belongs in a museum. Yeah, he's got some pretty awesome stuff. Yeah. If you don't have your grails, be more calculated. Yeah. That's for sure. You're very welcome. That was from earlier. And that's from earlier. Any Mannix? Not from me.
Nope. I don't have any.
Nope, you don't either. Okay. And never heard of. Never had art by this artist before on our shows. Oh, well, I can't wait to see who it is on Friday. Few years from 50 yourself, Dwayne Zapane. Cool. The second Oklahoma kid after James Siegel. Still waiting for Black Canary. Oh, okay. Urban has never been a hooker guy, but didn't denounce coke. Okay, let's just stay away from that. Second, that's CJ. Nick show is truly great. Okay. That's a great one with the scream going across. So I'm catching up, but I'm sorry, I'm still 2 behind. Don't know what that means. This room is full of comedians. I love it. Exactly, Carl. That's why it's so fun. That's what I love. Everybody's joking around all the time. That's what makes it so fun. Right, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. I love coming here.
Yeah,
the chat's always great.
That's what I love it. Yeah, it was a great show. I want a Green Arrow covering his ears to pair with. Great. Sorry. It was great. Now, yeah, it was great. Now I want a Green Arrow covering his ears to pair it with. Okay. Some of the grammar you guys put out there. Close encounters of the crackhead kind. Exactly, Rick. Exactly. Oh, man. Some of the things that happen, Crackhead with missing teeth. So Ruben went for quantity that day. Oh, man. It's not like I went for it. She wanted me to go for it. But, it just wasn't happening, man. I wasn't feeling her that day, Let's see. Oh, okay. My wife, I think, was listening to that story. Honey, I don't even know if did I ever tell you that story? I don't know if you can hear that, but she's laughing. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Yep. Okay, hold on. I don't even know if you guys are hearing me well. God, does this sound a lot better, guys? My microphone was really far from me all this time.
You were good. You were good.
I was good? Oh,
yeah.
I'll put it back then. Okay, I'll leave it right here off to the side. Yeah, gum job. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, there you go. She needs to pay me. Exactly. And even then, there was not enough money in the world and gold in Fort Knox or anywhere else in the world to ever let that happen. Never. Oh, God. Oh my God, kill me now, please. You won't hear this on Dueling Dealers. Our next show. Fred, my friend, you haven't been here enough. Because then you'd know absolutely you would never hear some of the stuff you hear there.
This is the after-hours show.
Sorry, what did you say, Jason?
This is the after-hours show.
The after-hours show, right. Oh, God. Max American tour right now. Might not be shipping for a while. Okay. Tariq, what's up? What did you miss? Hey, it's going to be a short show. 19 minutes to go only tonight, Tariq. So hang around for 19 minutes and then catch it on rewind. Then you'll know what you missed. A lot of talk about a lot of, well, mainly one topic. But yeah, fun stuff. Please watch it if you have time. Hey, Sleepy Reader 666, the number of the beast. Hell and fire were born to be released. What's up, Damien? Oh, and of course, Karen had to say hello to him because, you know, he's one of her subscribers too. Look at that. It's all love all around. I love it. Good to see you, Damien. Thank you for dropping in. So Nick came close to what? To getting the Krakow? Oh, you're talking about that Mannix thing, I guess. I guess what you're talking about. Lee, I got propositioned at a concert for a free BJ, and I am probably the oldest guy on this show.
Good for you, Lee. Good for you.
Lee, was she young, hot, ugly? Consenting minds would like to know. Just curious. But in the meantime, Jason, let us use the last 18 minutes to maybe
I got a quick one
of your next.
Yeah, so I don't think this one will go too long. I think this can be pretty straightforward. But with some newer art, with some newer artists, they do the pencils, and then there's separate inks, and some pieces when you buy them they have both together, and then some are just selling you the pencils, or maybe you're just buying the inks. So my question is, for those who buy those kind of pieces, do they feel that do they just buy the part that they like, or do they feel it's incomplete if they don't have both pieces? So is it worth, if you buy the pencils, do you have to go out and hunt for where the inks are, hopefully find them so that you have a complete set?
Yeah.
Just curious to see what you and the chat think of that.
Yeah, okay. By the way, in case you missed it, Jason, Lee did want us to know that she was young and drunk.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Thanks, everybody. Yes, please hit the like if you can, please. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I haven't asked this probably like in 8 months, but if any of you are here for the first time, maybe Abraham, if you're not already subscribed, consider hitting subscribe. I would appreciate it. But if you don't think you'll be back, don't bother. I only want the kind of semi-regular to regular viewers to be subscribers. So thank you to all of you who are subscribers, and to those of you who consider subscribing. Thank you. So Derek points out that sometimes one doesn't exist. And it's true. But I think what he means is it doesn't exist because the pencils were digitally done, so there's only an ink one. Is that what you mean, Derek? I think that's what you mean. So James says incomplete to what now?
I think he means that if you only have the pencils, or if you only bought the inks, and it's a two-piece, separate page piece, then it's incomplete in his mind.
Oh, right. He considers it incomplete. I see. Yeah, because I thought he meant the other way, and I was like, ooh, I'm kind of surprised he's saying that. But yeah, that makes sense from James. Yeah. Okay. And he says 100%. So he's wow. Look at that. Even Marcus, you feel that way too. I hunt for both, but prefer inks. Naughty or Nice says, hey, Naughty. Okay, I'm going to say something. Let me catch a few more comments before I say something. So Fred says, I'll look for the ink sometimes, but I don't hunt them down. Okay, but you are saying then you're okay with one, but if you go with one, for you, Fred, it's the pencils. That's what you're saying, it sounds like to me. Okay. Nice. Look, so now we got Tariq. We go flip to the other side again. And Tariq's like, I prefer the inks. Okay, but Tariq, tell everybody, are you willing to only buy the inks? Have you done it? That's what I want to know, not just your preference. Damien says, I need at least, okay, you want the pencils because it begins with the pencils, but you like to have both, but just the inks, knowing the pencils are out there is unfulfilling. Okay. I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean, I think more people fall on that side of the aisle. Pencils and inks on same page are top. Well, okay, whatever. That's traditional. Everybody knows that,
Right.
That goes without saying. Derek, or vice versa. Thank you, Abraham. Thank you. First time that you're commenting. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love it when people watch and then eventually finally break through their shyness and come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and join in on the fun. And I hope you've had some fun tonight. Yeah, and hopefully seeing that it's fun and everybody's friendly with each other. Hopefully this incites you to drop in again next week or another time and do the same thing. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for getting me to 40. Yeah, thank you so much, Nick, for really pushing that and helping me get there, man. Thank you. Derek says, I have pencils, but there are only digital inks. Right. Exactly. Okay. That's why you only have the one. Still the only available art for that page, right? So that's fine as long as there isn't a second piece that certain brothers will add stats to and make into a cover. I knew that one was coming, Marcus. Definitely get both pencil and inks, but not always easy to get both. Sometimes that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a bunch of Pelletier Hulk pencils, though trying to track Mickey's pages, yeah, much less pay what his blue line inks go for. Yeah, exactly. Isn't my way. I totally get that for sure. And you end up paying more for both. Exactly, says Abraham. Very much. It's something to consider. Sometimes the inks look better. I personally find finished art always displays better.
Mm-hmm.
Rich black inks just
Sure.
display better. I love to look at pencils because I love to study the pencils.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to look at them up close, right? But if I have my druthers, God, I'm old. Druthers, who says that?
It just means you went to school.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Thank you. Not as far as you would think, I believe me. But if I did have my druthers, I still prefer the look. We're talking about not owning or not owning, just in terms of the look. I prefer the finished art as published.
Sure.
I love those rich, beautiful black inks, Yeah, so that's why I'm going to say what I'm going to say with after 3 more little quick comments. Yes, if it's a piece I like and the pencils aren't available, I'll buy it regardless on the inks. Okay, good. You're more like on my end of the side of the fence on that. Great when seller artist has both. Yeah, sometimes that happens when the artist and inker, even when the artist and inker are different. Yeah, precisely. Comes down to final published image. If the inks are a blue line copy, I want the pencils. If pencils are primary, I'm okay with pencils, but the image has to clearly resemble the published piece. Okay.
All right.
I've spoken with an inker about this. The inks are the published art. Well, the inker doesn't. I can tell you the same thing. Everybody will tell you the same thing. Of course, the ink, it's the finished art. Yeah. That's what the comic book was shot from, right? At the printer. That's what they shot from. They shot from the inks. So it's the finished published art. Exactly. So the pencils are the pencils used in the creation of the finished published page, but the pencils all on their own are unfinished art, right? It's the first half of the artwork. So it is what it is, Digital enhancement requires people to be careful with what they buy these days. You're very, very true. Very true. You're making a lot of good points tonight, Dan. You're kind of making me wish. You're kind of making me wish that our show 2 weeks from now was not a show and tell, so that we can spend more time talking about this kind of stuff. But I know you want to show off your collection, and it's pretty cool. So I want to show it off too. So that's fine. Okay. See, thank you for saying that, Mikhail. Jason said it was good, but
yeah.
Hold on. Let me know how this is. It's a lot closer to me now, Mikhail. So let me know how this is, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully this works better. Let's bring balance to the not to the force. Yeah, so my own thing is funny that you mentioned this and wanted to bring it up, Jason, because as we speak, I am currently, literally right now, in the middle of trying. Okay, so I'm in the middle of trying to make a decision as to what to do on a cover for which there are pencils and there are inks.
Oh.
And in this case, it's the same artist.
Oh.
Yes. So that really bothers me a lot, right? Because to me, in my mind, I'm like, why would you do that? Like,
Yeah, why wouldn't they just ink on the
yeah,
same?
why would you do that? Are you trying to make two people happy? Somebody who's happy with the pencils, one who's happy with the inks? I don't know. Is it because you think it? I don't know. Can you get more money for it that way if you sell them both? I don't know. Because to me, I'm thinking if they were both on the same board, I'd pay the asking price. I find the asking price is kind of high right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the process of asking for a little price break, like little, very, very fair, like very
Mm-hmm.
fair. Okay. Like if I'm the seller, I'd be, yes, that's sure, no problem. Right. In a second.
Right. Right.
And the offer I made is I said, listen, I'm leaning towards the inks. Okay. Because it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of pricey.
Right.
And I thought, if I got to take one, I'm really, look at that. My wife is even like giving me advice. Oh my God. Look at that. Thank
There's
you.
the decision's made.
Well, no, the decision is not made because here's the truth. The truth is that I have to admit, when it's a different artist, I have bought just the inks. I don't care. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, I want the finished page. I don't
Finished
care.
page. Sure.
Right. But because it's the same guy, I really want to have them both. It's just that I feel like you're taking advantage of me. I'm like, why are they both on different pieces on boards,
Right.
I'm like, oh. So what I did was I said, look, I'm leaning towards the inks. It's the published cover, it's the finished artwork.
Right.
But I want them both. So that's when I said, look, can you just knock off this much? Again, I'm talking like, oh God, here, let me think. I'm thinking not on a percentage basis. Gosh, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, 10%, something.
Not big.
10 to 15%, whatever,
Yeah, not a big ask.
It's a multi-thousand-dollar piece, okay? So multi-thousand-dollar piece, whatever. So it's several $100s is what I'm looking to get off,
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if you just knock that off, I'll take them both. How about that?
Right.
No, that's where I'm stuck in limbo now. I'm just waiting to hear what happens, So I guess there's no easy answer for me. For me, like I said, nice, Karen. Thank you. We know where we know where you and your interests lie on that topic. But in this case, because it's the same artist, I am more willing and wanting to get both, Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. So like I'm trying. We'll see. I think it's a fair offer I made. If they go for it, he goes for it,
So for that cover that you're looking at, did they light box their pencils and ink it on a separate paper, or did they copy it and blue line and ink it? Right.
So it's pencil, right? In regular pencil.
Right.
It's pencil. And then he scans the pencils, right?
And then inks over that.
No.
Oh.
The pencils are still the pencils, right?
Okay.
So they're separate. So you've got to scan, and on the computer, the artist has a scan of the pencil on the computer. He then prints that out onto another board in blue line.
Okay.
And inks over basically what is a copy of his own pencils.
Okay.
which is why in my case, I feel like even if I only got the inks, it's still, to me, it's still his pencils. Yes, the original ones are on another board, but I feel like if I only have the inks are based on his pencils, which he copied onto the board anyways. He was both the drawer and the inker, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why, to me, it doesn't really bother me if I didn't have the pencils, but I still want to try to get them. You know, Mikhail, I don't know what you mean by Tony Marine. Are you trying to make an accusation that he inks other people's artwork, or what's that about? I don't know. I don't know what that. What is that? I don't know what that is. Let the brothers have a chance to buy the pencils. Oh gosh. For that reason alone, I probably should buy the pencils just to make sure that doesn't happen. Both if you can. So he's another guy for Rickster. What would an artist do blue lines over his own right? I mean, that's what I'm saying, Fred. Maybe it's because maybe that's what it is. Oh, I can make more money that way. I don't know. I don't want to, cast aspersions on anyone. I don't want to make false accusations. I really don't know. I don't really know. I was disappointed to find out it wasn't all on one board, but you've never seen that. I have, believe it or not, Fred. He's not the only person who does that. So ask for the monoprint too. Well, listen, hopefully I can get a copy of the comic, whatever, and I'll be happy enough. Why? I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, my guesses. Those are my guesses. That's it. Is it possible that the editor wasn't 100% sold on the artists inking themselves, so they inked the blue line to satisfy the editor? I obviously can't say yes or no for sure, TJ, but you're asking, is it possible? Of course it's possible. That's always possible. Absolutely. Don't know, though. Couldn't answer, Do the printed lines show? That would bother me. Oh, see, Lee, they don't bother me because I love blue line. Like, I love blue pencil. So when artists like John Romita, right, back in the 70s, he would do stuff in blue pencil. I love when you see the stray pencil lines on the outside of the inks. I love that stuff. I love that. It gives it that nice monochromatic look. So I'm good with that. Yeah, I don't mind that the blue line printed pencils, if some of them show, yeah, I'm good with that. I like it. Yeah, Tony got roasted on Facebook for saying he fills in the inks. Oh, thanks, James. Holy shit. He actually admitted to that? I mean, at least he's honest. I will say, I respect that he was honest. I will respect him for that. But wow, I can't believe he does that. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, I don't even want to get into that. But everybody, it is 9:29. I promised Jason that we would get him out of here at 9:30. We are caught up, thankfully, on the comments, and so that is very awesome. I know more than one artist that print and ink their own pencils. Yeah, for sure. Lee says, I love the pencils, but would prefer it if it was ink vial Lightbox. Yeah, I get it, man. What can I tell you? That's why it's an interesting topic, because there's so many variations possible, and so many. Even one person can have different answers based on the variations that are available, right, Jason? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's the thing. So
answering some guys' questions. So number one Marvel fan, my fantasy pieces that I would love to own. I started picking up X-Men off the shelf around issue 185, 86, something like that. So something in those early, or in those issues, I would love to have an original page from that. And my fantasy, although I'm priced out of it, would be a John Byrne, X-Men page would be amazing to me. So those would be my fantasy pages. And to Fred Chamberlain, I don't know what my favorite piece is right now. I have some John Byrne Elsewhen pages that I really, really dig. They're just the pencils, but I really dig them. His pencils are super tight on that. And the Ryan Stegman cover that I have for this, it's a modern comic, but it was Sabretooth and the Exiles. And that Sabretooth image, I really love that.
There you go. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, good night to everybody. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dino. Again, I really appreciate you sticking around. Good night to you, John. Thank you, Carl, as always. Jason and the roomies. There you go. It feels
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Karen. Thank you very, very much. As always, you're always welcome. Go check out Karen's new video, everybody. It's awesome. And if for no other reason that to find out what that new, well, it's not new, but what the collectible is that she did the video on. It's awesome. And thank you. Great to have you here as always, Rick. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And Nighty Nightly, thank you very, very much as always. What do you think about discarded pages that never made it into the issue? Yeah, that's just unpublished. That's what we call unpublished pages that never made it into the issue. I mean, if you like it, buy it. That's. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, as long as the price is right. I think most people would say the same thing. You know. Have a great evening. Thank you, Tariq. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tariq.
Yeah, thank you. You as well. And Dwayne Zapane, as always, love having you, man. Thank you so much. Stay well yourself. And good night to you, Damien. Thank you again for coming in. Really, really appreciate it. This was awesome. I really had a great time. I wish it could keep going, but we got to go, obviously. As always, Jason, my lovely wife, which, here. She posted a little message.
Yeah, thanks, Vivian. Thanks for letting me come back on.
Yeah, you're sincerely, you're always welcome. I honestly, I love chatting with you. I love having you on the show. If it wasn't for the fact, Jason, honestly, and I mean this in all sincerity, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, I'm aware that most people, when they watch and they participate, they would prefer to see as many new people constantly before you repeat the guests, right?
Sure.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, like, I would have asked you many more times already, just so you know.
No, I'm happy to be your Ed McMahon, but there's guys out there that have some banger pieces, and they're cool to see their backstory and their pieces of work. So you got lots more to pull on the show yet. So for sure.
I know, but I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Good night, Marcus. Thank you as always, man. Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. You know that. Thank you. Good night again to Karen. It's like you came back and you left and came back again. Hey, thanks, Derek. Really appreciate you, man. Derek and I are going to do a interesting show and tell. We haven't set a date yet because I'm still trying to catch up and I'm still behind. But I'm really looking forward to it, Derek. So, yes, Ruben, you're leaving before my girlfriend. That's what I said earlier, that it would happen. That's what I said, right? Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. You got to see the whole show before you have to go and see the girlfriend. So there you go. Thanks, Carl. Always appreciate it, dude. I wish, but I'm going to keep this a shorty. Thanks, though, Marcus. Man, I appreciate you. We really should do, everybody as homework should go watch Blood In, Blood Out. And then I swear I would do an episode where we can all discuss the movie. Because I would do a movie watch party, like you said, Marcus. I just don't think it works. How do you do that? How are people going to come into the chat, watch a movie with us, and we're all silent for 3 hours? Nobody's talking for 3 hours. Like, why would anybody do that? Might as well just watch it separately on our own, right? So, Maki Poo Poo, you're late. What's up? Good to see you, though. You are late. Watch it on rewind if you can. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, man. Yeah, it's a quick one tonight. We're ending quickly. Yep. Sorry, dude. But thank you for coming in anyways, as late as it was. And hi and bye, Maki Poo Poo. They love your name, buddy. They love your name. Hey there, Karen. Hi, Vivian. I have to catch up. Yes, please do if you have time, my friend. Awesome, Derek. Appreciate it, man. Sorry for the delay. These life changes I've been making to try to get my health in order also is what's been causing more of a delay than I expected. I'm really focusing on that, and that's why I'm falling behind. So I appreciate the patience, dude. Thank you so much. Thanks, bud. Free on you. Oh, it is awesome. Everybody, Blood In, Blood Out.
There you go.
On YouTube, please. If you love prison movies, gang movies, awesome. You gotta watch it. Like, awesome. 3 hours, by the way.
Good night, CJ.
It'll happen at some point. Huh? What's that? That's what my husband said. Run the movie shows like a book club where you watch the movie first. Yeah, tell your husband that that's a good idea, Karen. Yeah, exactly. Still don't know if it would work because who the heck wants to stick around talking for 3 hours or 2 hours about one single movie, right? But we'll do a movie show in the future. We just have to make sure we get it right. You know, the idea, so it works. We just do commentary in the chat on the movie as it plays. Yeah, but if you haven't seen it before, isn't that distracting? Like, I wouldn't be able to be constantly making comments when I'm trying to listen to the movie and watch. And isn't that crappy to have to look at the movie while I'm playing it and sharing the screen? Because then you're looking at it like really small, right? Like, isn't that crappy? Like, yeah, I just don't know how that would work. Good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah, CJ. Sorry, I mean, oh, come on, man. Come on, don't play the victim. I was just kidding with you. I love you, CJ. You know that. Bootleg, we used to watch Blood and Blood Out all the time in college 30 years ago. Yeah, how could you not? It's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. You're not mean. I love your comments. There you go. Okay, everybody, we really got to go. I went 6 hours overtime, even though I shouldn't have. Again, thank you. Can you give me 1 more minute, Jason?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Let me just leave everybody with hopefully I have it actually. Next week, everybody, yes, I do. I'm going to leave you with this. It is the thumbnail for next week's show, and that is a hangout. Look, after only 2 or 3 weeks, we're bringing back Rob Gomez, Wolvie fan himself. So Rob, as you guys know, was with together in the show and tell with James Siegel a couple weeks back. And, he's actually been collecting for a lot longer than most of us have, including myself. And Rob said that he has a lot of stories. And as you guys know, I love stories. I love chat shows more than showing the art shows. So he, I wanted him to come back. And, usually I like to spread out a little bit of time before a guest comes back. But, I said, what the hell? If he's willing to come back soon, I'll bring him back right away. And that's why he's coming back. So he's going to be back next week. And just to talk to us and tell us stories about his past from his time in the hobby. So it should be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys all come back as always for that. Should be a really, really good time. Good night, Nick. Thank you very much again for everything and rallying those likes. And yes, those are butter knives, Karen. That's awesome. Yes, Wolverine collector. That's why I went the other way, Marcus, and put a JLA piece behind him. That's awesome. Yes, he's very awesome, Karen. Very much so. Serrated butter knives, though. Exactly. But if you don't look if you look quickly, it's pretty good. Ask if he ever held out for 5 days straight. You can ask him on the next episode, next week, Marcus. I need to share Marcus, remember how surprised he was when we were talking about colonoscopies and stuff, right? He just wasn't used to our brand of show. So I need to share my screen, use Wolverine props, have lots of claws. Nice. And okay, there you go. Jason's leaving with the final comment. So thanks again, everybody. I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you again. And we will catch you same time next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific with Rob Gomez, Wolvie fan. Thank you and see you then. Peace.